$1,450. That's all Malcolm had left in the world, his final paycheck, his last safety net. Most people would guard it with their life. Malcolm gave it all away. What happened next will blow your mind. This isn't a story about charity. This isn't even a story about faith. This is a story about what happens when you stop playing defense with your life and start playing offense. When you stop clutching what little you have and open your hands to something bigger. Malcolm Torres, 35 years old. 2 kids, 1 pink slip. He'd worked at the factory for 8 years. Good employee. Reliable. Honest. Then the economy shifted. Budget cuts. Last hired, first fired. The severance check landed in his account on a Tuesday morning. $1,450. That's it. He sat on his front porch with a cup of gas station coffee, staring at his phone. The weight of the world pressing down on his chest. Rent was due in 2 weeks. Groceries were running low. His daughter needed school supplies. And then he heard it, not out loud, but clear as day. Give it away. He looked around. Nobody there. Give it away, all of it. I'll handle the rest. Malcolm thought he was losing his mind. Have you ever had one of those moments where you know exactly what you're supposed to do, but it makes absolutely no sense? That was Malcolm's Tuesday night. He couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't think about anything else. His wife found him at the kitchen table at 2 a.m., calculator in one hand, bank statement in the other. "Babe, what's wrong?" He couldn't tell her about the voice. She'd think he'd snapped. So he said, "I'm just trying to figure out how to make this work." But deep down, he knew there was only one way to make it work. He had to let go. Wednesday morning, Malcolm drove to the other side of town, to a place he'd driven past 100 times but never really noticed. Hope Community Mission. A little building with peeling paint and a sign that said, "All are welcome." He walked in with the check folded in his pocket. The director, Maria Santos, was behind the desk, sorting through bills. "Can I help you?" she asked. Malcolm pulled out the check. His hands were shaking. "I want to donate this." Maria looked at the amount. Her eyes went wide. "Sir, this is a lot of money. Are you sure?" Malcolm nodded. He signed his name, handed it over. Maria started crying. "You have no idea," she whispered. "We were about to close. We couldn't pay rent. This saves us." Malcolm walked out without saying another word. No cameras, no recognition, no tax receipt. Just pure, terrifying obedience. Now I should mention Malcolm isn't his real name. I've changed all the names and organizations in this story to respect people's privacy. You want to know what happened next? Nothing. Day 1, no miracle, no phone calls, no opportunities. Day 3, the pantry was getting bare. His kids asked for Happy Meals. He said maybe tomorrow. Day 5, his daughter looked up at him with those big brown eyes and asked, "Daddy, are we poor now?" Malcolm's heart broke. Had he made the biggest mistake of his life? But then came day 6. Malcolm was scrolling through his email, looking for job postings when he saw it. Subject line, "I heard about what you did." From someone he'd never heard of. David Chun, CEO of Chun Industries. The email said, "Malcolm, you don't know me, but I know Maria Santos from the mission. She told me about your donation. I don't know why, but something is telling me I need to reach out to you. I'm expanding my business and I need someone with your background. Would you be willing to relocate to Dallas? The job pays $70,000 a year plus benefits plus a relocation package. Something tells me you're exactly the kind of person I want on my team. Malcolm read it 3 times. Then he called the number. 2 weeks later he was in Dallas. New job, new house, new life. Double the salary he'd ever made. But here's the part that'll give you chills. That $1,450? The mission used it to buy food, supplies, and keep their doors open for a couple more months. In those months, they served meals to over 70 people, homeless families, struggling seniors, kids who had nowhere else to go. 70-plus lives. Fed, helped, changed. Because one man decided to trust instead of hoard. Now let me ask you something. What are you holding on to that's keeping you from moving forward? Maybe it's not money. Maybe it's control. Maybe it's your reputation, your comfort zone, your 5-year plan. But here's what Malcolm learned that night on his porch. The things we clutch the tightest are usually the things keeping us stuck. We live in a world designed to make you feel like you never have enough. Open Instagram. Everyone's living better than you. Scroll TikTok. You need to hustle harder, grind more, get that bag. Watch the news. The economy's terrible. Save every penny. Trust no one. But what if that's all wrong? What if the secret to having more is needing less? What if contentment isn't about getting what you want, but wanting what you have? The Bible says something that sounds crazy in our culture. Better a little with the fear of the Lord than great wealth with turmoil. Think about that. Better to have less money and sleep peacefully than have millions and never rest. Better to trust God with your needs than trust your bank account. Better to be generous with little than stingy with much. Contentment isn't giving up. It's growing up. It's saying, I may not have everything I want, but I have enough for today. But contentment has enemies, 3 big ones. Enemy number 1, comparison. Why do they have more than me? Every scroll through social media is an invitation to envy. Every commercial tells you what you're missing. Here's the truth. There will always be someone with more. Always. If you base your happiness on having more than others, you'll never be happy. Enemy number 2, control. If I don't have it, I can't relax. We think security comes from having enough stuff to handle any crisis. But the tighter you grip your life, the more it slips through your fingers. Real security comes from trusting that God's got you, even when your savings account doesn't. Enemy number 3, craving. Just one more thing, then I'll be satisfied. New car, bigger house, better job, nicer clothes. But satisfaction isn't waiting at the end of accumulation. It's found in gratitude. So how do you build real contentment? Here's your battle plan. Step 1, limit the scroll. If social media makes you feel like you're falling behind, take a break. Delete the apps that feed your envy. Step 2, practice daily gratitude. Every night before bed, write down 3 things you're thankful for. Train your brain to see abundance instead of lack. Step 3, give something away. Generosity breaks the grip of greed. It says, I'm not controlled by scarcity, even if it's small. Especially if it's small. Step 4, wait before you buy. 7-day rule. Wait a week before any non-essential purchase. You'll be amazed how many things you don't actually need. Step 5. Memorize this verse. Godliness with contentment is great gain. Say it when temptation hits, when comparison creeps in, when craving takes over. I talked to Malcolm a year later. He told me something I'll never forget. I wasn't just giving away a paycheck that day. I was giving away the lie that said God wouldn't come through for me. That donation didn't just change his bank account. It changed his soul. It broke the fear that had been controlling his decisions for years. The fear that said, if I don't look out for myself, nobody will. The fear that said, God helps those who help themselves. The fear that said, I'm on my own. Here's what Malcolm discovered. You don't need to win the lottery to be at peace. You don't need a perfect credit score to sleep well. You don't need a fat bank account to be secure. You just need to trust that the God who owns everything knows exactly what you need. The Apostle Paul said it best. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through him who gives me strength. Paul wrote that from prison. A prison. If he could find contentment behind bars, maybe we can find it in our circumstances too. So here's my challenge for you. Stop chasing more. Start embracing enough. Stop hoarding. Start trusting. Stop comparing. Start celebrating. Because the life you're looking for isn't out there somewhere. It's right here. Right now. In this moment. You just have to open your hands to receive it. Malcolm's story changed over 70 lives. But it started with changing one, his own. The moment he decided that obedience was more important than security. The moment he chose trust over fear. The moment he opened his hands instead of making fists. And if this story moved you or caused you to reflect, hit subscribe and turn on the notification so you don't miss our next story. Because some stories are too powerful to miss, and some lessons are too important to learn the hard way.